CFG GameCast, episode number 131, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers alike to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode on Fridays and release it on podcast services like Apple, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Podbean, and so much more. So show us some love, give us a follow, a like, a comment, what have you on any podcast services out there, or go to our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com, to not miss an episode. Wow, I kind of went up there. I am Mr. CFG Games himself, Davis Green, and with me today are my two awesome co-hosts. I got Lex in the second seat. What is going on, my cyborg?
I played a new game this week. It was so good. It was so good. He fell asleep, and right as I hit live, the freaking doorbell rings. I'm like, God damn it.
Was it the Muppets Take Manhattan?
I wish. No, it's called Martha is Dead. It's an Italian.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's been on my wish list for a hot minute. It's based in the 1940s in Italy during like the war, and it's really freaking cool. I was supposed to get off at like 8 p.m. that night, and like 11:30's rolling around. I'm like, I have to go now. I haven't showered. I gotta fold laundry. I gotta get out of here. And so I like threw the stream off to someone else. I was like, I'm so sorry. I gotta go to bed. Bye. But it was really good, and I had a lot of fun. But yeah, this week's crazy. My schedule is very busy, and I've got a new fun bruise. That's my week. So yay!
Oh Jesus, dude, that bruise looks like it.
It doesn't hurt.
That looks like it's growing.
I know. They couldn't get a vein, so I was like, "Well, I got this juicy one on top. Go for it." She was like, "All right." I'm like, "Okay," but yeah.
Oh, that was from Blood Drawn?
Yeah, you saw it the next day, and you were like,
yeah.
"Oh, that looks pretty gnarly." I was like, "You were like, did you hit it?" I was like, "No, no, it's from the blood draw. It doesn't hurt." And you're like, "Oh, really?"
Oh my God.
It's just getting worse by the day. I don't know what's gonna hurt. My arm's gonna fall off probably tomorrow. It's fine.
Fully amputated the next week when we see you next time.
I'll have a robot arm that turns into a cannon. Yeah.
What? So like, what kind of game? Like, with Martha is Dead? Like, I've seen it, but I've never really seen gameplay of it. Like, what kind of style is Martha is Dead itself?
I would say it's a suspense horror. So I feel like if I tell you the premise, it like gives it away. But I figured out in the first 5 minutes, so I was kind of proud of myself. Oh, I literally out loud to my chat was like, "I bet you this is what happened, and this is the result." And someone was like, "Nah, that can't." 3 hours later, I was like, "I told you so." I'm good at figuring stuff out, movies, games, whatever. But they did it well. I wasn't ever bored about it. You have to take photos, which we all know Lex hates taking photos in a freaking game. But I didn't mind because these were old-timey cameras, and like figuring out what camera parts to put on to get the right photo to get the next clue was kind of like a puzzle in itself. So that was fun. But it is really interesting because your father is a German soldier in Italy on the front lines. So if you don't know about the Second World War, Italy was in cahoots with Germany. It was a whole thing. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. I can't tell you much more than that because if I do, I'm giving the whole thing away. So you just have to play it for yourself. It's so good. And it's every twist and turn, and they make you feel eerie, even though nothing's happening. And you're like, something's going to happen. And like it does, but it's not what you think. Like they did a really good job at making you feel creeped out and like this sense of dread. Like I kept thinking stuff was going to pop out at me.
Now,
and yeah.
Is it worse than now? Is it crazier? Like pop out? Like is it crazier than Song of Horror or World of Horror that you played? The game. Remember the game? The black and white game that you played?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's not that. I don't think that's the name of it. Maybe it is Song of Horror.
Mine?
No.
No, Song of Horror was like it was like a black and white
that game and there's
really
I need to play it again. I need to go back now that I'm not scared of shit. I need to go back and play it. No,
Song of Horror is the one that freaked you out. I do remember that.
It was terrifying. Yeah. No, it's not like that. So it is more suspense. It is very much like they're very clear from the get-go. If you are not of age, if dismemberment, if this makes you feel uncomfy, if these topics make you feel uncomfy, this is not a game for you. So there are a lot of trigger warnings. It is very creepy. A lot of the creepy stuff takes place in like a dream setting. So it isn't reality, but it leads to reality, which is interesting. But yeah, there's a woods behind your house, and you have to go out there a few times. It's pretty interesting, but it's based off the folklore of the Lady in White. And everybody has, every culture has some version of the Lady in White. Let her get in the car with you, she'll murder you. She takes young people and drags them into the water, stuff like that. So it's very much based off of that, and I can't tell you more. That is it.
Hey Lex.
Yes.
The Doctor Strange, the new Doctor Strange movie is a biopic. Who it was inspired of?
I do. His name is
the 5-star general of the itty bitty Smitty committee. I got Smitty in the third seat. What's going on, my dude?
Yeah, I am so freaking excited to see that movie tonight. It's gonna be dope.
Me too, buddy.
Yeah,
Opie's excited too.
Wait. Yes. Video games wise, though, like I said, it's been a crazy busy week, so I haven't had a lot of time to play. Obviously, I got down on some what the hell is it? Tiny Tina's. I've been playing that off on the side. And then Overwatch 2, the beta, which we're going to talk about today. I'm not going to get into it, but not yet anyway, but we're going to go over thoughts, what I've seen. I will very briefly said I had a lot of fun playing. Played with Kitty and a couple other people. Mullet Poppy. I feel like there was somebody else, but I can't remember. But yeah, other than that, I took today off. Chill, put together Mother's Day gift early, so we got that.
Oh wow, you're all set.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're good, man. So that's what that's where we're at. It's good to I'm slowly getting now that I've gotten past this show, I'm able to get, work on the PC, get my hard drive fixed and move forward with that stuff. So I'm just excited for things to chill back down and to get past that big show. So
now, was that show like a one and done, or was that something that's going to be?
This is one of 3. This is one of 3. Oh, no. The next one's in September. So, however, they were talking about possibly doing it as a VOD and not live, which I'm all for that. Yeah.
VOD would be it's more manageable than live. Yeah, definitely. I would definitely agree. Yeah.
Yep. What about you, man?
Especially if you're a one-man show on that. Jesus, that's so crazy.
Well, and I did get a lot more help this time. I had 2 other production people with me. So I had them as shooters, and they helped me set up. But all the editing is done by me. So, and that show was an hour and 45 minutes. So you can imagine that is a shit ton of editing.
Yeah.
3 cameras shoot. So yeah. But it was good. I'm past it. I can relax now. I'm excited to get back to being a person and actually, because I've been go since we left to go to PAX East. You know what I mean? Even before then, trying to get ready to go for PAX East, I was still in grind mode. So I really haven't. I feel like I've just been going nonstop. So taking the day off was absolutely necessary.
Speak to that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
no
Also, Davies, you're welcome to come, but you don't live here. I'm getting the pool key. So you and the girls, me and my girls, we all have a little pool day coming up.
That'd be dope. Let me know.
Because I think Lincoln would get along with Harley and Danny real well. Because she's right in between them. So she'd like playing with them, I think.
Yeah. What about you, Davis? How was your week, man?
Well, yeah, mine was pretty busy as well. Nowhere near as busy as yours though, but I will say that it was actually very eventful. So I already said that I put an offer in on a house. So hopefully if the offer gets accepted, I'll be living in a new spot here fairly soon. So that would be awesome. Yeah, that'd be really awesome. Leave this godforsaken apartment. Finally.
Dude, I can't see myself living in an apartment again, dude. I just can't.
Oh, Jesus.
Do it. There's still for real, such little space.
To be honest with you, when I moved from Arizona to here, I lived in a house for 8 years. I was renting a house, and then all of a sudden, I came here. And I was I'm living by myself, so there's no reason to get a house.
Apartments are kind of different in Texas, though, than they are elsewhere, I feel like. They're a little more open. I don't know. I
No,
felt
not
like
really. Not really.
my
The
I've
walls
never
are still
seen.
thin. Yeah, walls are still thin, and it's just
no,
still
that's
like
true.
the apartment complexes itself. Like, well, when I first came in, it was reasonable, but now since because of all the
Yeah.
crazy the housing market is, and then the demand of people renting, it just skyrocketed. So like that's what I pushed myself, especially what happened with the winter storm last year.
Yeah.
When I lost my power and then I lost water for 2 weeks, I was just like, I need to leave. I need to get my own thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I've been working on that, got my stuff up. Game wise though, I don't think I really played anything this week. I was trying to play because I needed to do my take on Cult of Lamb from Devolver because they sent us a copy of an early copy of it so we can see the preview of it. Haven't done it yet. I'll probably do it this weekend and start showing what our take is on that. But other than that, I really haven't touched anything this week. But yeah, so it's been yeah, it's just basically been a good work week. I haven't even streamed this week, which makes me mad. I run like I really wanted to stream.
It's been tough. It's been tough. Yeah. Yeah.
Having responsibilities suck.
Don't they though?
That's just what it comes down to, you know? It's just like, Jesus.
Yeah.
It's like I just want to just sit down, just have my sweatpants on,
Same.
and then just play as much games as I
Crank
wanted
the
to do without
AC
worrying about
on
any
and get some popcorn. Yeah.
It's been
Exactly.
a while since I've been able to do that. Yeah, I am overdue for a day or a night or forever like that.
Pool day.
Yeah, so yeah, well, no. But anyways, well, I know you don't want to stop. You don't want to hear us bitching about being an adult. So let's go through the normal rigmarole that we like to do each and every week. So each of us chooses a topic or discussion from the previous week. The topic could or would be a specific game or something that happened in the gaming industry itself. So we don't want to talk about it amongst ourselves. We want you, the listeners or viewers on twitch.tv/CFG GameCast, to be a part of the conversation. So by all means, if there's something that you wanted to chime in about what we discussed, type it inside the chat. We would love to talk with you about it, and we will go from there. So let's start off with my topic. So it's actually kind of interesting when these announcements kind of come because this one came, I believe, like Monday morning at the beginning of this week, and I was trying to tell myself, oh, I got to do this. I got to remember this one. This is a very important topic. So everyone knows SquareEnix. SquareEnix is a very big company. Makes like historical games, Final Fantasy, Dragon Warrior, all these different kinds of stuff. And as of late, they've been publishing a lot of different kinds of games from different subsidiaries that are also owned by their own company, like with Eidos, Square Enix Montreal, Crystal Dynamics. All these different kind of companies has been under the umbrella of Square. Well, that has changed this week. So this week, the beginning of the week, Square announced that they are selling off multiple like game studios. I believe it was Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Interactive, what's, I know I'm missing one. Square Enix Montreal. That's like I just said. Yeah. So they're selling off their companies and the IPs that belong to those companies to the Embracer Group. Now, people might not know what the Embracer Group is. The Embracer Group is the people who own THQ Nordic currently. So they've made the most recent games they've made was like Darksiders Genesis, Darksiders 3, and some other smaller
Valheim.
games, but mostly Valheim. They still also have the full library of what THQ originally had. So they also
Question.
So they're definitely going with it. What's up?
When you say Nordic, I automatically hear Nordic Track. Are they also the same people or totally separate?
They are.
Okay, got it.
Because it's Nordic NORDIQ.
Oh, got it. Understood. I will shut up now. Thank you.
Yeah. So this one is so now what's the thing that you would think that like these are actually some like these studios are fairly big size. Like some of them were really big. Crystal Dynamic was the people that gave you Tomb Raider.
Avengers.
No, I'm sorry. Avengers, yeah. Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy, I believe. So then also but Eidos Interactive gave Tomb Raider. That was the one. Eidos Interactive was the one that did Tomb Raider and Revenge of Tomb Raider and stuff like that. And as well as Crystal Dynamics also made Deus Ex, Thief, Legacy of Kain, all these different like big like these are a lot of like have a giant catalog of different big names or big catalog of names that they could easily come back. In fact, I think they estimated it to be about 50 back catalog games. So that's a lot of them. So you'd think that they would be that it would be a pretty penny for them to get these kind of studios. They got it for $300 million. For all the studios, all the IPs, everything, $300 million.
That's a bargain.
On a deal itself. Yeah, and what's even crazier to me is the reason why they did this, because like I had my suspicions of what it was for Square Enix to decide to do something like this crazy, but they're saying that they're selling the studios and IPs so they can invest in blockchain gaming. So I'm just like, oh, so are they going hard? So what are they trying to do? Are they trying to go hard on NFTs even more now? Like they're trying to go all in on this? It's like, yeah. So I was a little surprised that they would go this route on this. But then at the same time, I thought that they were probably not happy of the performance of some of those studios, like Marvel Avengers has lost them a ton of money, as well as, you know, even Guardians of the Galaxy, which was actually a very popular game. It's a very good game. I would definitely say, I would urge folks that, like, I need to play it. I believe it's on Xbox Game Pass right now, so you can actually play it for free. Is to play that game. Guardians of the Galaxy is a fun game, so I would definitely
doing that now.
Yeah, and yeah, so like I mean, like the Tomb Raider series, all this different kinds of stuff is very, very like very crazy to me that they were like, okay, we need to 86 them. We need to say we're not a part of our vision anymore. So I'm just wondering, like, if like what are they thinking? Is my mind like with Square Enix right now, and I don't know if this is going to be a good move on their in the long run, but I mean, wow, just wow. I mean, most of these studios are from North America, which is also very interesting to me too.
Those are Western studios, yeah.
Yeah. Like they decided to just drop them heavy and then give it to another. Say, hey, we're done with this. Done with this headache. Here you go. So I kind of want to get y'all's thoughts about this and see like what y'all if you thought this is a good move or what you're like. What should we be expecting from Square and whatnot?
I hate blockchain games. I saw NFTs. We've discussed it so many times, and you guys don't even understand what NFTs are. It's like if I hold up this bottle and tell you that it's worth $100, and this picture of said bottle is now yours. You don't get the actual bottle, just the picture of it. That to me, just it's silly and And I feel like when you do blockchain games too, a lot of those times, those games, they make you come back on a daily basis. They make you do the same things over again to get this, that, or the other when you've already done it. Exactly. Well, but I feel like there are games that do it well, right? And there are grindy games that, you know, that's kind of the whole point of it. But I feel like you're trying to get money for these NFTs, and I just think it's so ridiculous. I don't care for blockchain games. I think it's interesting that they've decided to sell off such large assets. I know that they've lost money, but those I don't know. I don't get this move. I'll be honest. Smitty, what do you think?
Yeah, I've got a lot of feelings about this, and we talked about this earlier on LAN parties as well. There's I feel like there's a lot of layers here along with this. Number one, and this is purely speculation, but potentially maybe Square is trimming fat to be bought by somebody. I thought about that. That to me is a possibility still, even though they said something about blockchain. That to me does not make sense. I don't know where in their things that says, hey, I think we need to go blockchain. If anything, if we've seen anything, I feel like there's been a very negative reaction to blockchain games. And I still don't even completely understand how that even work or like I just don't understand. Like I understand the concept of it, But like, I don't understand why people are like, this is the future. And then they say, well, it's not regulated. And I'm like, all right, dude, but like, what does that mean to me? Like, what, like, and how do I benefit from this as a person? Am I going to be getting better games? Am I going to have an opportunity to earn money while I play games? Are they going to do shady things, which we already know shady things happen? And a lot of that stuff, I think, which is, you know, another issue that people have is the fact that it just, it has a negative effect on other things as well. So I kind of take a neutral stance on that stuff. It was weird. They're selling this stuff off for a steal though. So to me, that says they're trying to just unload hella quick. They weren't trying to make any kind of money back from the money lost. You know, from these, and again, Avengers instantly, because they estimated it lost like $200 million, right? And then we know that Guardians didn't do that great, even though it's a phenomenal game. Again, highly recommend playing it. I like the game version better than the movie version of them. They did a much better job. So that's that. And what was the name of the group again? Embracer. Here's what, and again, before earlier this week, I couldn't have told you who Embracer group was. Excuse me, but I had been playing their game from the old wrestling games with THQ and this and that. I didn't realize that there was a shift and it's the same company. So
that's not the same company technically.
I mean, technically it's not, but I mean, come on, buddy, it kind of is. Yeah. It is I feel like it's still some semblance of a derivative of it. Obviously it's grown exponentially and they're doing way more of it, but that was a part of their lineage in where they're at today as a company.
Well, yeah, but like, okay, so THQ originally went out of business completely. Then another company, and the Embracer Group was the company that picked up all their THQ's liquidated assets, and then made the new company called THQ Nordic. That's what it is. That's like if I created something, but then I decided to stop selling it. And they're just picking up those things.
They're just picking up the license to be able to. I see what you're saying. Okay,
exactly. Kind of like what happened with Atari in the early 2000s and stuff. So yeah, but no, they could essentially. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, here's what I like about that though. And this is something that I think is really interesting. You have a lot of these AAA studios and stuff that really put their eggs in one or two baskets. They really bank on certain games. And if they don't perform well, it has a huge negative effect on other, again, it could be other, people that are under that umbrella. It could be directly with employees. It has a very big negative effect. What I like about Embracer Group is that they're kind of the middle of the road people. They're kind of tossing things in all kinds of different directions with all kinds of different games. I had no idea those are the same people that did Valheim. I know I've never played Valheim personally, but I know that's a popular game, and I know that's a lot of people enjoy that game. So they've had some successful titles, but they're going around and doing things. They kind of sit middle of the pack. They're like, we don't need to have crazy things or crazy numbers and stuff like that. We're here putting out a variety of different games, and this is huge. We could see some of these titles like dang it, I forgot what it was called. Well, is one of the titles that they're not really making games for, but Legacy, I mean, yeah, Legacy of Kain, that's the one. I know there's a lot of people that were hyped about that. I'm not familiar with Legacy of Kain, but this to me is that potential to get, new, a fresh air and a breath of wind in life into some IPs that haven't been touched in a while, and some IPs that are currently going. Again, I feel like, I'm still curious what they do with Marvel's Avenger. You know what I mean? Like they're still unleashing characters. I think a new character just recently dropped. I thought they were done after the roadmap that they had put out. So, maybe that gives them a new, a new ability and new resources to change that game and do something and breathe some life into these IPs that for Square were failures, there's still, and we've seen it before, the opportunity for them to succeed. And I feel like this puts them in a way better position than if they were still with Square, because guaranteed those things would get killed.
I don't even know about that anymore, because I think with Avengers itself, like the thing that killed Avengers was it didn't have an its identity was lost.
It shouldn't have been a lot. It shouldn't have been.
It was games. Yeah, it was games as a service, and like they treated the game that was supposed to be story driven into the game as a service, and then and focus on the online mode. But then that grinding on that online mode was so bad, and then the aggressive microtransactions that they forced upon you was so terrible that people were like, what's the point? Like, why, like, what the hell are y'all trying to prove on this? We're done. We're not gonna stand for this nonsense. So and you remember, we've talked about this a long time ago, like about if Avengers is going to be something that would ever be, could be saved. And I believed it was not. And I believe Square just didn't have the patience to kind of come back with it saying, okay, we'll give them another chance. So we were done.
Yeah, no, and I totally remember that. Like, I was like, look, dude, like, it's too big of a game to fail. Square will not allow it to fail. Well, we see what happens now. They just got rid of the whole damn studio and said, well, we don't got to worry about that.
They washed their hands completely from that studio and said, okay, we're done. But the one that just threw me, which was surprising, was Crystal Dynamics. I was like, wow, you're getting rid of Tomb Raider? I was a little surprised about that.
There's a new game coming out soon. You know what I mean?
Like IP, yeah, but the IP, I'm just like $300 million. It's like, I just feel that is just so low. It's like comparatively for what they lost is quite a bit. It's quite a bit, like you would have thought that this would have been like a 500, 800, maybe $1 billion or something like that, with the amount of studios that you gave them, with the amount of IPs that you that you lost from all that, from the potential deals. But to be honest, but then when you really seriously sit down and think about it, Square Enix has always been that kind of company, that they take strides on their successes, but then they do stupid BS to kind of to push themselves back. Like, you remember, like a month ago when Lex was talking about her topic about how aggressive their microtransactions were for Chocobo, their Chocobo GP,
Mm-hmm.
like on a cart game that's on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why would you be so aggressive on that? And then their aggressive stance on NFTs initially, on saying that this is where they're wanting to stand or what they were wanting to push their stuff on. So like when they make a move like this to say that we're going to use this to try to turn a profit on blockchain gaming,
doesn't make sense. It
worries the hell out of me.
Cause, dude, I'm telling you, they are setting themselves up to be bought.
Yeah.
I think they are gonna get acquired by somebody else. They are trimming fat, and then somebody's gonna gobble them up.
Because they've tried the multiple times. They've tried. Well, Japanese companies are really hard to buy. That
out is Japanese true. Companies. That is true.
So like, unless it's another Japanese company, like, remember my topic. Man, there's a lot of like retro stuff. My topic about Sony wanting to might buy a new company or might buy a new studio. Very possible that could happen with what they're doing here, because that's the most extreme of the possibilities I could see them saying yes to. But like from all the other stuff, and keep this in mind, this is just their gaming division. Square is huge. Square also has a publishing division for the crap tons of mangas that they release. They also publish a lot. They also produce a lot of anime as well, just not here. So like so they are not. So this is maybe a drop in the bucket, kind of like how we thought that Konami was, like when Konami decided to say we're going to shut down their gaming division, when in reality Konami is like one of the largest like conglomerates that they have over over their location. Like, this is nothing to Square to lose all this, but like to say that they're selling it so cheap, it's just incredible. Well, unless and the way I kind of look at it though too, because how everything is their Western division of all their games, they could also look at that as like, oh, this is the thing that's weakening us. Like, this is not what we, this is where like we thought that this investment it's not a good investment.
We're gonna stick with what's been working with us and focus more so on the
Japanese.
exactly, the Asian market and the overseas market, as opposed to the Western market. The Western market just is no longer lucrative to them and viable. There's still stuff they can port over, and they're still working with companies, so it's not like they have to have studios in here that aren't producing the results that they're looking for. But I just don't like the blockchain thing, and that they said that. Like, I don't know. I'm not
Agreed.
comfortable
Why
with
would
that.
you announce
That's
that?
weird.
Why would you even announce it? Why would you even announce it? I don't know. It's just, I feel like blockchain stuff is always scummy, and
I don't know.
I don't know. It's just like if they sold that off and said we have better things to come, I'd be like, maybe they're gonna start making movies. That'd be cool. You know what I mean? Well, I don't. Sometimes just keep us out of the freaking loop, man. You know?
I would rather know, but
I
even
would
though
rather know,
just
yeah.
because they said that just because they said that to your face, that doesn't mean because we don't know what the intentions or the context of that
True.
is. And that's the
True.
main thing. It's like, why? Because on the surface level, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for you to sell that stuff for so cheap and then be like, oh, we're gonna take that and we're gonna invest that in blockchain. Like what? Like what?
We're coming to steal all your money. Ba, ba,
Yeah.
ba, ba, ba. Like,
It's like
what?
Hermagerd
Why?
makes a good point though. There are big bucks in mobile gaming, and I feel like that's a sector of gaming that is lost on a lot of people.
But I beg to differ
Yeah.
because because mobile game, like for Square, this isn't this isn't new. Square has had the mobile gaming division forever. Like XVS has been around for almost 7 years, and yet they still it's still, I mean, they have aggressive microtransactions on that, and they still also have unless they're trying to plan on making their division to be so money driven hungry on those games. And it's kind of like games like XVS made me absolutely hate gaming on mobile. So because I do not want to play a game that doesn't have an ending, but rather a game that's just meant for one thing, and that's just to get your money. I do not like that mentality. Well, anything, any of these games that you play on your phone, it's like, it's massively like games, like for instance, when Mario Jump came out.
Yes, I remember that.
A shit ton of people bought that game or got that game, had a fun time playing it. Like millions of people bought it, and they called it they said it wasn't a success, because the reason why was because it wasn't generating any new cash. It was a flat $10, and then that was it. Nothing else generated past that $10. But so what you have to focus on is like once you download the game and then you put new content in the phone game, is you're always wanting to have some sort of money generation of some sort to keep you to keep the money coming in. And so the mentality on phone gaming is a lot different than a game than what you would see on console and PC gaming. And then they've been trying to find ways to maximize that kind of monetization on everything. Hence a $60 game, and like people being pissed on paying $60 and then people paying for microtransactions even past the $60 fee, which is bullshit.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Well, here's the thing. I play mobile games. I play it's by King. It's a Bubble Witch or something like that. Because it reminds me of Bubble Bobble from when I was a kid. I like it. I like Bubble Witch. It's good. What does it do? It occupies my time while I'm waiting in the freaking car with two kids who are behind me yelling at each other. Or, if I'm waiting for Brandy to get out of an appointment, well, usually it's two kids yelling at me and I'm waiting for Brandy to get out of a doctor's appointment. I'm basically babysitting in the car. Like, yes, it kills my time. There is no ending. And when I run out of lives, it's like, hey, if you pay this much, you get this many lives and extras. Merry Christmas. I said, no. I'm not gonna. I'm done. Thank you. When my lives are out, that's my time. That's my notice to myself. I need to put the phone down. I need to stop.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
I don't ever buy stuff. But the blockchains are with mobile gaming are even more intense than that, because it's like, well, if you want to beat this level, you need this item and you have to pay for
See,
it.
that's
So
pay to
it's
win.
more
I hate.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just
That's
like I said,
terrible.
like I'm just saying the mentality of my personal opinion on mobile gaming is that the mentality is a lot different on play. Like you don't want to say, "Hey, let me play Final Fantasy on my phone," which you essentially can do, but you won't do because it's like that's not the best way to maximize your time on playing. You'd want to play on sit down play on PC or play it on a console. But like I just think that the maliciousness on how aggressive some of these companies are going to get your extra money in these games because all that I mean, and you know what? All games are time sync. Like you're wanting to do that to kind of let your mind go away from real life for a bit, just play in the fantasy world. Fine, but these games are instrumentally built on trying to aggressively
To take your
get
money.
your
Yeah.
money away from you, which I do not like that. I think it's just
Yeah.
that's where I kind of am not a big fan on.
Well,
But
and to be clear, the only reason again, it's to kill time in the car, or else I'm doom scrolling on TikTok and then my battery dies within 5 minutes. So, it's one of those like, well, it's here and it's a good use of my time instead of just staring out the window like a creep in the car. But before I was, running these errands for my bestie, I wasn't playing any phone games. Like on long trips, I'd remind myself, oh, I should re-download, Chuzzle or whatever to kill time on the plane if I don't want to read because my head hurts, But it's cute. They jiggle and they're fuzzy. But they get you. They freaking get you. And again, it is just to kill time, so I don't doom scroll. But I don't feel the need to log in every day. If I don't, I don't. If I do, I do. But 6 days a week, I'm in a car for hours, and I need something to do.
Right.
So.
But overall, like I said, we'll see overall, hopefully we'll see how these studios are going to go. They must have some money if they're going to keep these studios active and open. So I feel
they have a lot of people. You know that they also picked up the studio that did Little Nightmares as well. That was recently. Yeah.
Stop.
Yep.
Embracer did?
Yes, they did.
Interesting. Cool.
Jerks.
Yeah. They've got some solid studios under their umbrella. I didn't realize employee-wise, they are bigger than Activision Blizzard.
That can't be right.
That is right.
I'm gonna have to take a look at that. I would call shenanigans on that.
Take a look.
But
take a look.
We'll definitely. But like I said, we'll definitely see. Hopefully, we'll see some good things in the near future of these companies. I'm just glad that they were able to sell them, and then hopefully there's not gonna be any layoffs or anything like that with these kind of deals. But we'll see. For the most part. So yeah. So there you go. There you go. More like Whack-Division. Whack-Division Boozard.
Nice.
Good one, Ermagerd. All right. Lex, what's your topic?
It's my turn. So, we all know I like horror games. That's obvious. You didn't know? Let me tell you.
Afraid of them.
Guys.
I used to be, not anymore. I love getting scared. So, Evil Dead just teased their new game called Army of Darkness. They teased the DLC for Evil Dead. So their Evil Dead the game is coming out, and they have teased a whole bunch of DLCs and their artwork and all of that
before
stuff.
The game
originally
came out?
It hasn't come out yet. It comes out in next week or the week after, because my birthday's next week, so it's the week after. But they're teasing a bunch of stuff because when they had originally shown the trailer and told people what it was like, they said that's great that it's multiplayer, but we want more of a storyline for the single players. And so they went back and they worked on that. It didn't push the date back further, but they said, okay, we hear you, we got you, don't worry. And I'm really excited for this because it basically, you're starting from square one and you're going through all of the movies. So you can do the single player, you can do the multiplayer, which is like a 4-team. There are puzzles, and you basically kick the Evil Dead's living butt and snatch back that Necronomicon. I just said that wrong. Necro. Oh my god.
Necronomicon.
My brain died. Thank you. Oh my god. So when I saw that they were showing DLC information for further on down the line, this was like, wasn't there already an Evil Dead game? I said if there was, I would have been playing it. There technically was, and it was for PlayStation 2 era, but it was called something else, and the storyline was different. It wasn't what it is where you're actually going through the original movies, and there is a new Evil Dead movie coming out, by the way, which I'm really excited about too. So it's kind of perfect that they're doing the game, they're coming out with a new movie, and maybe the new movie will be in the game. Who knows? I mean, if they're working on DLC content already, hopefully that comes, and the DLC content's going to be free, which is awesome. But the original was called Evil Dead Regeneration, and Ash, Bruce Campbell, his character was in a mental asylum, and it's a different storyline. Like the Necrocomicon's there, but his doctor is shady and all this, and you have to go through that. But that was PlayStation 2. And there hasn't been one since, and there hasn't been an Evil Dead where it actually, you're a part of the movie, essentially, the movie franchise. And they do have Bruce Campbell voicing Ash, Dana DeLorenzo, Kelly Maxwell, Ray Santiago is playing Pablo, and Betsy Baker is playing Linda. So it's cool. And as it says in the trailer, if you want to be a dick, you don't have to be a good guy. You can be a bad guy.
That is awesome.
So you can play... Yeah, and he's voicing the trailer, so I recommend you watch the trailer because Bruce goes through the trailer with you, which is really cool. It looks really neat, and I'm super excited about it. And I wanted to know what my people who sort of like horror thought about this.
Irma Gerd says, do you guys remember the TV show Bruce Campbell was in the 90s where he was in the Wild West? Yeah, the Briscoe County Jr.? Yeah, I remember that show.
I do.
Yeah,
I remember
there's
bits and pieces of it.
Yeah, I do remember that show. That was actually a really good one. But but there's also an Evil Dead TV show, if you remember that too. That came out not that like
there is.
Yeah, and which is also a very good one as well.
It's newer.
It came out in the mid 2000s.
I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah. To be honest with you, when this game was announced, I think this game was announced about 2 years ago, if I remember correctly. The game looked great. Like the game, the idea of it. I mean, who's to say who wants more Evil Dead? I mean, everyone does. I mean, it's such a great series, and so nostalgic of of the time, and Bruce Campbell in general as a character was good. And now if they're gonna do what I wish. Now the DLC is the DLC Evil Dead DLC or is it Army of Darkness DLC? That's the question.
So the DLC is Army of Darkness.
Okay, so Army of Darkness was my favorite of all of them.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, when he went into the medieval times and he's fighting demons and stuff there too, and then he has his shotgun. And he's like shop smart, shop S smart. Yeah, that kind of stuff was great. So if they put some ode to that kind of funny randomness and stuff, by all means show it, because the gameplay looks really good for
I like it,
especially for the Evil Dead game. And then they bring you back to the original cabin, all this stuff. So definitely looking forward to it. I need to know though, is this gonna be multiplayer or is this gonna be like a solo?
You can do solo or multiplayer up to. I did. It's okay. I know you don't listen. It's fine. I got you. So it's up to 4 players, or you can play solo.
Well, I meant to say, is the multiplayer co-op, or is it more like DVD kind of situation?
It said co-op, so we're not quite sure. No, it looks really good, but yeah, it is up to 4 players. But yeah, it's I'm excited for it. I even liked the remake, which some people are like, meh. The remake was extra scary because here's the thing: is if you've never watched Evil Dead and you're like, I'm not really into horror movies. Here's the thing: it's got the perfect amount of camp, it's got the perfect amount of comedy, and the perfect amount of scare you out of your pants.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a good mix of all of that. So even people who don't really care for horror, but you like suspense and that kind of stuff, this is a good start for you because it's campy too, and it's self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
The remake is an actual scare you, make you pee your pants kind of remake, so they made it scarier on purpose. But the game, I can't wait. It looks so good. so yeah, they were going to focus more on the multiplayer part instead
I
of the
remember that
single
being the
player.
thing. Yeah.
And they got some backlash for the lack of single player content, but then again, it wasn't really released. It was they debuted it more as a multiplayer, and people are like, "Wait, we want single player stuff, man." And so they've added more details to the game story for single player. There's more stuff for you to do as a single player, so that you're not kind of stuck needing other people to pass certain levels, is what it seems like. But the DLC content looks amazing. It looks just as how when I visualize each movie and what memorable scenery, it looks identical. I mean, it looks like you're stepping into the movie itself, which is great. And I can't wait. What do you think, Smitty?
You guys are gonna hate me.
Never watched it.
I've never seen a single any of it. I've heard of Army of Darkness. I know the character of Ash, because how do you not know a person that's got like a freaking chainsaw for a hand? But I've never watched any of the movies, played any of the games.
Well, there's only one other game.
Oh,
and it's not really like the movie, so you're
like
good.
it's really more of a movie thing than a game thing as far as with that. But they're
yes,
okay, because I know
a
I've
TV
heard of it.
And all that.
And like
just
and
little
even
stuff.
show
It's
stuff.
little.
Like I know I've heard of them. I just never watched them. Yeah. I mean, this is right up my alley as far as with games, and kind of like Ravage just said, it reminded me of like a Friday the 13th. That's kind of like what it reminded me of game wise. But with PvE being in it as well. I don't know what that means exactly, but I'm definitely curious. I feel like for sure I would have a much better appreciation if I watched the films. So I definitely feel like I should check out the films for sure. Because film-wise, I love horror and everything that you guys said. This shit's right up my alley for sure. So...
And just to be clear, if you've never seen the movies, there is gore. So if that's kind of not your thing, it's one of those where you can kind of turn your head and like wait, and you as well.
I get on board with some gore.
If you're not into too much gore, that's okay. There is more gore in the remake, but you need to watch it. I think we need to have a movie night, and you and the girls. Well, maybe Lincoln goes to sleep as a sleepover. And the kids go upstairs and go to sleep.
No, that is not happening.
I remember watching it as a kid. I was like 8 or 9 when I saw it.
Yeah, I know. I remember. I was like, probably like 4 when our aunt showed us one in the Nightmare on Elm Streets. It was absolutely traumatizing.
No.
It was absolutely
that's probably one of the reasons why you're going to never have your kids to ever do that at all.
Yeah, Candyman was the one that did that for me.
Oh God, Candyman, Jesus.
And the girl, I don't know why she had me spend the night. She didn't like me. She held my eyes open, and I wanted to cry. No, it's good. I mean, Harley's watched it, and she thinks it's hysterical. She watched it a few years ago. She's 10 now, for context, but if Harley can handle it, I think you're good, Smitty. No, but you should genuinely, like this weekend when you have the time, you're laying in bed, you're like, I can't sleep. Put it on. It's hysterical, and you might giggle and wake Cat up, but you should watch it.
No, I'm definitely gonna. I will look up and see like what the order.
Show to understand.
I'm not gonna even mess with the shows. I just want to watch the canon films, see what the films are about. And then this will give me a better sense as far as with the game. But mind you, and knowing that and having that knowledge, from a game standpoint, this looks fun. I'm not 100% sure what the point of it is. From my perspective, I'm the same with Rav. It reminded me of like a Friday the 13th deal. I don't know if that's what they have in mind for the co-op or if that's what's happening. That's just kind of what it looks like to me. And I enjoy that game. That was fun.
Yeah. Also, it gets campier every movie, so it gets out of control by the third one.
That's how it usually goes for all horror.
Yeah.
How did you watch Army of Darkness first, Ermagerd? Because Ermagerd said she watched Army of Darkness, but not the other two. You gotta watch the first two.
I watched Army of Darkness first before the other two. I
Don't do that.
I'll
Smitty.
do it in
Watch
order.
Evil Dead,
I'll do it in
Evil Dead
order.
2,
I like
and then
to do,
Army of
I
Darkness.
like to do things in order.
Please report back. I would love to hear what you think because it's good. There's a play too.
There's a play.
Evil Dead, the
That's how
play
you
is
know it's good
hilarious.
because there's a play.
It's really good. Yeah, it's so good.
don't let it scare you too much, Smitty. Just want to.
I'll try not
Yeah.
to. Yeah.
After 2
I've got
a.m., you're
that
not allowed to
Davis.
watch
I've
it.
got that Davis life-size pillow, so I'll just snuggle with that.
You know that.
And I made at PAX East.
Borrow
There's
Necro
also
Comic-Con.
like, hey, might give you some nightmares. With both of it in itself. So there you go. All right, let's close this up.
Provocative.
All right, let's close this up with Smitty's topic. What
Yes.
are you bringing to the table, sir?
Time for more people to hate me, but we got to talk about Overwatch 2 beta. You guys know I've been waiting for this moment. I know many of you have been waiting for it. Lex, when I say that, because I know that Davis has not been, right? You don't even care about
so
Overwatch.
hard. He don't care. He don't care about nothing.
I did play it.
Oh, did you?
See, here's the thing.
I didn't even know.
Okay.
How come? Whoa, how come you haven't played with me ever? How rude! How
our times never really mix because you decide to count. Like you play in different parts of the night, man.
Because I've got kids that I've got to be present for. I can't.
I'm not saying it as an excuse, but you're saying the reason why we don't is because our times don't align. That's what it comes down to.
I expect you to cater to my needs.
Oh, I don't give a damn about what you think. But I like
somebody clip that shit.
I was just specifically just saying, hey, you know what? Because like I already told you how much I hate Overwatch, the original Overwatch, and like I said, like you can't just hate something to hate something. You have to play. You have to play to have a reason why, have a reason on why you don't like it, and that's what I did. I kept an open mind to see if I liked it any better or any worse. So that's why I played it.
But you didn't play with your real friends.
I did play with my friends. I did play with some of my people.
You did play with some of your people, but not
his real friends, his fake friends.
I'm just playing. And by that I mean those Paladin players. You played with Paladin players. That doesn't count.
No, I didn't play with them.
I'm playing. I don't know you played with. But yo, dude, I gotta say, and here is like some of the big things, obviously, that we had talked about when we first heard about them. Number one, losing a tank. That was very worrisome for me as a tank healer player, primarily. I was just like, that sounds weird. They've made a lot of changes. Some of the most noticeable, number one, the graphics definitely feel a lot cleaner. I know there's a lot of people here. I'm sorry. I just read what Dog said. And that's all right. I know that and Overwatch is not for everybody. But here's the thing for me in Overwatch. Number one, Overwatch was very integral in me playing games online with other people. I used to play with my brother Lex. We all had a group. We did things, that's where it was another game that really solidified that online play for me. So it meant a lot, and it's always been fun. And I was like, I was never going to be good at the game, but I enjoy the game. Nonetheless, it's something that I could just mess around with. And for me, I've always wanted more lore and stuff like that, more characters. That's why another reason I'm excited for this. I know that this is just a PvP beta. But we know that there's going to be PvP in this as well. And that is the main reason, because they said it's so hard trying to add that stuff into Overwatch 1. But they took the opportunity to make other changes, and I think it was smart on their part. They added that new push mode, which is a ton of fun. There's a robot that runs back and forth, and like you basically fight on the robot and then try to put the robot goes to your side and pushes this barricade up to this point. And then, so on and so forth. There's a lot of, not everyone had major changes, but there were some serious changes. Like Orisa had major changes. I know there are some changes with Cassidy, formerly known as McCree. You know what I mean? And a bunch of other people.
Didn't
we got the
name again.
Huh?
Didn't they change his name again in this one?
No, it's Cassidy.
Oh, I thought they changed it the third time or something.
I don't think so. Yeah. Yeah. you know, and they're still tweaking within this. I know recently, because that was one of my big things. You guys know I love my heals. Zenyatta is my guy. And they recently just added within the beta, his kick now actually knocks people back. Cause that's a huge thing. It's like he's got no way. He's slow and has no way to get away from people. With one less tank, it completely changes the dynamic of how you play Overwatch. Healers are way more vulnerable, and you better be comfortable with being able to kill people as a healer, because you are going to get into duels and fights. It's like a whole different game in like strategy with that. And I really thought, I was like, I don't know how I feel about that, but like I was digging it. I had just as much fun. I hadn't played it in a while here. And you know, we were playing and I had an absolute blast. I love the changes that they've made. They've also talked about bringing in next year, by the end of 2023, they said that they're going to add an additional six heroes within that year, which is something that is heavily lacking in a game like that. You can look at, and it's not like it's not like just a straight like MOBA or anything like that. But you notice games like that. I mean, shit, dude, look at even like Rainbow Six Siege and Apex Legends. They continue building on the roster. They stopped. They said, we're just going to wait till Overwatch 2. This to me is like what essentially they're going to do with Destiny 2. They took and learned lessons from Destiny 1. They built out Destiny 2, even though the beginnings of that was a wreck. But as far as with Overwatch, they're just like, they couldn't do what they wanted to do in the framework and the infrastructure of Overwatch 1. So they had to be able to switch over, and they took advantage of it. And I feel like they took advantage of that in a very positive way. This, again, it was not 2 months ago that I was sitting here saying, I don't know if Overwatch 2 is actually a game that's going to be coming out. I had lost complete faith in this, straight up.
You know what's actually interesting to me is this, because like I kind of had a complete opposite, like, you know, experience on it from what you were saying. I think that the 5-man instead of the 6 of the 5-man did change the feel of the multiplayer quite drastically, but not drastically enough for me to be like saying, what's the point? Like, what's the big changes? Like the feel of the game on multiplayer is still multiplayer to me. Like itself, like I was still doing the same kind of thing. The reworks that they did with certain of the characters, like, you know, what's his name, the Doomfist,
yeah,
and the, was it Araya, the
Orisa,
Orisa, sorry, like Orisa and Orisa, Orisa or whatever, was welcoming, and it was a little different and stuff. But for the most part, I just felt that the multiplayer was still more multiplayer of just like that, and a little bit like a 1.5 step up, not like a direct sequel.
That's how you know a person hasn't played a game enough to be able to say that. Because that's
until
what
they
that
say
is.
The story. No. I'm just saying like the big point of Overwatch 2 was the is going to be what the PvE.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not saying that I'm not ruling it out. I'm just saying from what they showed me on PvP, the PvP side, I wasn't very impressed on it. And it, like, I mean, it was still more of the Overwatch tomfoolery of the PvP.
But it wasn't.
PvP
it's not at all, though. You can't, because here, and let me tell you why. Because number one, you don't just have stupid ass double tank metas or dumbass things where you get stuck in holes. It's a lot easier. They have a lot more. There's a lot more different verticality and flank lanes and things of that nature. Especially with some of the changes. It definitely feels more fast paced. But again, that's a part of the fact that there's one less tank. With one less tank, that's going to change people's play style. So it's not like a direct like in-game, and there are in-game changes. A lot of it is strategizing and how you actually play the game on even on a recreational level. but all the way through a competitive level. It's you have to play it very differently. Bastion, his changes, being able to roll him around as a tank. There's enough, like to me, like it felt like it, yes, mechanically, a lot of it felt the same. Gameplay wise and actually playing and stuff, it felt very different to me. It was almost like that. I know how to play this game, but you can clearly see there are learning curves to how people are playing because people are playing differently than how we've played previously, which to me changes the game.
I'm sorry.
So I haven't looked at a lot of the gameplay for Overwatch 2. I want to play it myself and kind of soak it all in. Again, I'm surprised that this game even came out with everything that was going on with Blizzard. I didn't know if I would ever play a game by Blizzard again. I was kind of up in the air, with everything that's gone on with them. But then again, those people have also made this game. And so I feel like it's only doing justice to also give that a chance. Whereas I've seen people take hard stances of, I will never touch EA or Blizzard, and how dare these people still play it. And I see them playing Overwatch 2. I see you. I don't forget what you said. And that's fine, but don't make hard lines in the sand. That's all I'm saying. I'm excited. I know of some of the changes, like just the one tank, but I'm also looking at gameplay and I see Mr. Hamster rolling around, and I also see Bastion, and I'm a little out of the loop. But I did that on purpose because, again, I want to play it myself. I love Overwatch. I loved being Lucio. He was my man. I was an aggressive healer, meaning I was happy to murder fools, which got me yelled at quite often. Why are you healing me? Where are you? I'm right next to you, dum-dum. I can't heal you any faster. What do you want me to freaking do, man? I just booped that man off the ledge for you. You're welcome, jerk. But I'm excited to play it. I don't know if it'll be online or offline. I'm excited for the changes. You know what I'm curious about the storyline and how it's going to be for PvE. During events they would do like a storyline, and you have to hold a line, and you have to fight the environment and this and that. You could do it with a group or by yourself. I was almost scared that they were going to do it similarly to that, and that gets boring very quickly. So I'm curious, once it comes out, how the PvE is going to be, if I can play the storyline solo and without any help, or I have to have help. So I'm still on the fence with that. But from what I'm seeing, it looks good.
Worry about the storyline yet. Just keep it open. Just keep it open mind. I mean, if you're still playing, I'm wanting to watch Overwatch, play Overwatch. But for me, it's a very casual Overwatch player. In my opinion, I'm not seeing a big difference in it. Like, I do see improvements of it. I do see like it's more faster paced because they did have one less with one less person. So the meta is now been completely changed to one tank instead of two. It's a lot more faster paced. The games are a lot faster paced, but at the same time, I just I feel that this isn't like a direct, like if Overwatch 2 did not have PvE, weren't going to do anything about their story, I would have been disappointed to pay another $60 for this game.
They wouldn't have made this without it.
I'm just saying.
They wouldn't have made it without it because they couldn't do the PvE in the infrastructure of Overwatch 1. That is the only reason that they even are making this. But I'm glad they took the opportunity to also be able to make improvements to the PvP side of it as well. Because from that side, you know what I mean? Like, again, as I was never going to be like a pro or like do anything like that. But like, I played competitive. We played pretty competitively for a while. Like, we go hard in the paint
and all that stuff.
Oh, I mean,
ranking and everything, but like, yeah,
you better be on at 7 p.m. or you're losing your spot.
I'm definitely like I think that the beta for people who are looking forward to Overwatch 2 did its course, but for me, I'm still not convinced.
Well, you saw it too, numbers wise. Like, it was in the millions of viewers. Number one, they had a drop thing for Twitch. That's why the inflated numbers, because it's back down to like normal numbers again now. But that first day, and there's still an opportunity too. Don't forget, link your BattleNet account to your YouTube account. And if you watch an hour, there's some stipulations. So they said every hour they're going to be giving away like 1,500 keys. I don't know
when
what
they
that
do
means.
stuff like that.
It's weird.
Yeah, when
like
they
Twitch
do stuff
was,
like
hey,
that,
you watch for 4 hours and you get the key. I just had it up during the day while I was working.
But here's the thing, though, like when Twitch numbers like that for this game,
right?
That I don't take those numbers seriously at all, because it's like there's no risk.
There's absolutely no risk in all paid things.
Yeah. So like when you do all the stuff where they're saying here's the drops or here's the oh wow, there's millions of people that are playing it, is because first off it's free. Like it's free to let it. It is a highly anticipated AAA game that's coming out, so people are very interested in it. And it's like, so there's no absolute, like, you know, there's no loss. I mean, there's no negative on it yet. Right. So yeah, because like what Donk says here, it dropped 30K in one day after the first initial, like, you know, the 24-hour love period of it came, just like how every Friday,
which is to be expected for sure. But this wasn't. I mean, again, to me, this was number one. And another big thing about this, I had 0 server issues with this, which is.
Yeah, but it's still limited.
Way better than dude. But you got to think, anybody on Twitch that had their things watching, there were millions of viewers. So you got to think, at least in the high hundreds of thousands, people got keys. Talk about a stress test. And I didn't experience any kind of issues lag wise. And I've played games, Outriders, and other games where
but that's still a fraction of what the regular community is going to be when that game comes out. It's like, so it's still a controlled amount. It's still a controlled amount, like you were saying.
Way more than what the regular thing is going to be.
No, I don't believe that.
On a concurrent basis.
Dude, you're playing an alpha build of a game, and then you're you're giving out still a beta key of the game.
They had to have given out closer to 1 million than I would say. Dude, you're talking about they had fucking over 1 million viewers. No. You had to watch for 4 hours to get access to the beta. You're telling me those people were just watching and not getting into the beta?
I think that even with millions of viewers at 4 hour watching, to watch 4 hours to get a beta key for it, even with that amount of time, still won't be the regular amount of I feel the on the overload amount that's going to happen on the regular every day. Just like how there's no beta out there ever. There's no beta out there that'll have more upload than what their everyday amount is going into their servers. There's not one game that will say, "Oh, there was more people in the beta that was inside the regular release of the game."
I'm not saying that that's the case.
Yeah, well, I'm saying that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that the amount of people that are coming into the beta of this one is still less than what you would see in normal everyday play.
No, I think you're wrong. Saying. I think it's more. Yeah. No, I'm saying I think it's more. I don't think it'd be less.
There's always less in the beta, dude. There's always.
Why would it be less? Why would it be less? The other one was stuck behind a paywall, as opposed to, hey, you watch Twitch for 4 hours and you get access. More people are gonna have access to the free thing than the paid thing.
You would think that, but it's not. It's not the case.
Nah, dude.
It is not.
Dude. Look at the numbers, dude. Look at the numbers. I guarantee you're wrong.
Overwatch 2 beta streams surpassed 1 million concurrent viewers, and just as many players in the beta too.
Everybody gets it.
He's right. It's in the millions.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think you don't think it's going to be, and you don't think it's going to be. Well, first off, you're assuming that. You're still also assuming that those millions of people are all sitting down and watching 4 hours of the gameplay.
No, but they have the thing up, and everyone else will have. But they have the thing up, like Dong said, it dropped down to 30K viewers because everybody had already gotten in. I'm no longer needing to watch it because now I can play it. And you're talking about millions of viewers that were watching it, and they just have the son of the bitch up in the background. I wasn't watching it. I just had it up on my computer over here while I was working. But 4 hours later, I could play it. You're crazy to think that there's not more during that test than there would be on an average day. And I think it was a fabulous stress test because I didn't feel any kind of server issues. But I'm telling you, you're dead ass wrong.
Okay.
I mean, I pulled
just
up
don't want to rip off that.
he was, but
don't want to rip off the
I'm
Band-Aid
glad-
with Smitty on this.
I'm glad you
no,
liked
I'm just
it.
saying, dude. You're like,
Because
yo.
with your excitement, with your excitement for it, I know I'm gonna like it a lot.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, I guess
it was
welcome
good.
back to Overwatch.
Yeah.
It was good, but I
Testing
can
mic.
understand too from a casual standpoint where it's hard to see. You know what I mean? Some of those differences.
That's like I stole his. I feel like I stole something like something that Smitty valuably loves in his life.
I'm just saying, dude. Like I'm telling you, this specific game, I could tell you damn near everything you need to know, son, because I absolutely love this game. I am very much emotionally invested in this game.
Someone messages 21. He's playing Overwatch 2, saying Paladins is way better than Overwatch 2.
Yo, dude. No, this isn't even theoretically, dude. Wilbur came in with a raid saying Paladins 2 beta. I was like, you son bitches. You son bitches.
He's like, it's the ban immediately. Ban these people. I don't know these people at all.
Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here.
Oh. Well, I love that this definitely riles you up. That's great.
It was good. It was good.
The passion's there. Oh my God. Folks, thank you for listening to episode number 131 of the CFG GameCast. Thank you for being a part of the conversation. As always, we will be back again next week. Just to let you know, we are going to be doing some changes here in the near future. We are going to be moving CFG GameCast to the main page, to CFG Games here at the beginning of June. And we're going to be closing this out. So if you want to be part of the conversation in the future, go to twitch.tv/CFG Games. Give us a follow there. Still have the same old shenanigans, same old time, and same old Smitty yelling at me about how good Overwatch 2 is about. So guys, but if you did miss this episode right now, that's okay. We will release it on all podcast services at the beginning of each and every Monday. So definitely stay tuned. We'll be on all podcast services, Apple, Google Podcast, Stitcher Radio, what have you. So there is absolutely no reason to miss our sexy voices. Ooh. Guys, thank you. Or you just always go check out our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com. Check out the episode of Pop Culture Gems. We just talked to the voice actor who played Tails in Sonic 2, the movie. Nice. Colleen O'Shaughnessy had a really good conversation with her. But that and so much more. So guys, thank you so much for stopping by. And once again, this is Davis, Lex, and Smitty signing off. Y'all take it easy.
Bye.